Yeah, so the future games, a lot of really, really, really talented players on our 2017. We had Team Illinois, also Team Select, Drew, like you kind of mentioned, with Missouri and a few other states mixed in there with them. But I think the first thing to mention, it's hard not to mention, at the future games for Team Illinois is Caden Wozniewski. He earned the MVP pitcher honors from the event. 4 strikeouts and 2 innings pitched, no hits, no runs. I mean, he was up to 95. It was unbelievable. Like a night game against Team Indiana, he just carved. Like it was really, really, really impressive stuff. And he's
So good.
now heading to the All-American game, which I assume, I'm not obviously involved with that, but I assume it's because of that outing.
Yeah, I'm sure that definitely helps. But I mean, that was easily the most fun I've ever had at a Future Games game. Just like we were already excited about that game, dating all the way back to the Super Sophomore games. Like we were just messing with Cooper Trinkle. Like man, that nightcap Indiana versus Illinois game is going to be nuts. And then they actually scheduled it. And our team we were super high on, and we were facing a high level arm right out of the gate, like 94. First at bat, Andrew Talbot just rips a single. We're like, all right, it's go time. Let's go. And then Wozniewski's coming out throwing 95, carving. I mean, I don't want to, rip on them too hard, but we kind of beat the brakes off Team Indiana. And that's old news, but yeah, that was so much fun. And yeah, Caden Wozniewski was right in that mix of lighting up the radar gun and just being absolutely dominant.
And Caden just keeps getting better. I mean, that's one of those guys Drew was talking about earlier. Junior future gamer, I think twice, as a 13, back when we did a 13U bracket, and as a 14U kid. Now a future gamer, now an All-American. Like, just so happy for Caden. It's a guy we've all been around since he, was 13. It was awesome. It was absolutely electric, his 2 innings, and, rightfully so, he won MVP for the event.
I mean, you mentioned junior future gamers. That we should probably chat on that because Caden Wozniewski, and I could be wrong, but Jackson Tucker was a junior future gamer. Brady Cunningham.
Yeah.
Cash Van Houten,
Sipe.
Colin Schweigen.
Carson Trivellini, Gavin Stanislawski, Colin Schweigen, Cash Van Houten, and Josh Morgan.
There might have been even more.
Benson.
Yep.
Omar Avalos.
Yep.
So we had 2 teams that year, I'm guessing, at the 14U level. But that's what it's all about. Identifying these guys on their 14U, and if they continue to keep getting better, like that's what we're looking for. And then they get to the big boy future games, and we'll see, from here on out, maybe it's the pro case, maybe it's the Super 60, maybe it's the All-American game, like Caden earned his opportunity at. I will say one guy that wasn't a junior future gamer, one guy we did not see this spring, who I thought had the best showing of anybody when it comes to position players, was Tristan Steger. He's a catcher, left-handed hitter at St. Lawrence. He had transferred, had to sit out last spring. He did it all. He absolutely did it all. I knew he was really, really interesting and really good. That's why we invited him. Left-handed hitting catcher. Had shown well multiple times this summer. I didn't know he was that good. The at-bats he took were ultra-professional and polished. I mean, he was all over the barrel, and when he wasn't, he was taking tremendous swings that were right on time. If he missed one, it was going straight back into the netting, and he didn't miss many. Like there was minimal swing and miss, and he drives the ball. Like it's not a punching Judy. Like he is a catcher that has polish with power from the left side, and he can catch. Like he could probably play the infield too. But he did a really good job behind the plate. Like to me, he's a power 4 guy all day long. One of the top position players in all of Illinois, which will be reflected in the rankings. But man, was Tristan Steger fun to watch for me. Yeah.
You talk about Bobby Seymour staying inside the baseball. How many times did Steger drive one the other way, like off the wall, or like one?
Yeah, he had like
The
2
top of
hit
the-
off the. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. Like he could have easily had 2 backside bombs that were like off the yellow. Yeah.
Like easy.
Yeah. And these are legitimate arms these guys are facing, and that's what makes it really good too from an evaluation standpoint is like you actually see like can these guys hit? Are they all or nothing? Can they see spin? Because you're seeing some of the best breaking balls, some of the best changeups these guys are seeing all year, maybe ever, and obviously some of the best firmest fastballs as well.
Well, and
Yeah,
Steger, I don't think you said this. He went 6 for 7 at the plate against those arms. Like that's just really impressive to go. Only not get a hit one time. Like and yeah.
And I'm sure he was probably on the short list to get
Yeah.
most valuable hitter from the event, which would have been crazy that Illinois could have clean sweep those awards. But I think that also just speaks to the talent we had on this team this year. It was crazy. One position guy I know we're all massively in on after this event, Tyler Gluting, out of Matia Valley. Another guy who just took unreal at bats all week. He had great pieces of hitting a couple times, where he's going down with 2 strikes and just battling his tail off, getting good swings off. And then to pair, he was like up to 93 on the mound, or it might have been even higher than that. I might be shortchanging him.
I'm seeing 94
Was it
7 in his profile.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I thought I might have been shortchanging him, but really impressive two-way guy. Like that's a kid. I think his best days are still yet to come, but he was a huge winner for me personally.
I'm right there with you. Like it's a very interesting two-way profile because the arm talent is so electric on the mound. You're a mid-90s, touching mid-90s as a lefty, and you're only going into your junior year. That's special. He to me is way further along with the bat, which that should speak volumes when you talk about a lefty who's up to 95. But the polish and just the amount of quality swings and at bats he took. He lived on the barrel. He's really athletic. I love the way he moves around the field. Can play the outfield. I love him as a position guy. And to me, it's one of those guys where you recruit him as a position guy, and he could be a super impactful guy. But if for some reason, as he climbs the ladder, if he gets to some level where maybe the bat doesn't play, he can also then just hop on the mound. And maybe give that a shot as well. But I loved it as a position guy. I think that's a great call out. And he's a guy with loud tools. Like, he is, not the most physical guy, but it's like peaking at 100 miles an hour off the bat. 360 max distance. He gets plenty of leverage in his swing.
One guy I wanted to mention on day one was Chase Reinhardt from Normal West. Like, the fastball is not going to wow you right now, but he did exactly what I felt like I had seen before. He went out there, threw strikes, missed barrels with the fastball, threw 2 innings, struck out 5, no walks, no hits, no runs. Like, just a really good outing for him. Up to 88 with his fastball, mid-80s for the most part, but really impressive. I think he's just a competitor, and he's a really good just pitcher. And I think there's a lot more still to come for him.
He was an all-stater this spring, Gavin, because he took the ball in every big game for Normal West, and I felt like he just kind of showed that, like what you're talking about. Left-handers who can throw strikes and spin it, and go ahead, you were going to say something.
With that first night, Hammond, I don't know if you fully did it justice too, because I was just doing a little digging while you guys were talking. That was unbelievable offensively what our team did, and I know we're kind of talking about players, and we'll probably get into that with these guys, but I was just looking. We had 12 hits as a team and only allowed 1 hit to Indiana, and Cooper Trinkle was telling us, like, they threw their best arms, and their arms were very talented. Like, it's not a knock on their arms. Our offense was just unbelievable, and we won 10-0 that game. Like, and obviously our pitching was good too, only allowing 1 hit against them. Like, I don't know. That was one of the biggest highlights, I think, of probably the future games as a whole. Like, I remember after that game just walking around in the buzz around the field with coaches coming up to us talking about how good that offense was. Like, it was unbelievable.
I mean, even during the game, you go up in the scout tower, and typically there's people watching every field, right? Because you're in the scout tower for a reason. You can kind of bounce around. Everybody's on our game. Every school, like even the southern schools, like they're, Florida and Georgia were playing at the same time as us, and they were the game of the night. They're watching us. I mean, people were coming up and like side eyeing us, like, "What the heck did you guys bring down here?" Like, people told us that was like the best team there, and I mean that performance, like, that looked like the best team I've ever seen. Like, that team could probably be third in the NL Central right now.
Well, it's wild how baseball works because it was like nothing could go wrong that first night. The arms are unbelievable. Indiana was doing everything in their power to jinx the no hitter we had going through like 5 or 6 innings. They finally did it. I think we gave up a hit in like the sixth or seventh. Um, coming by like, hey, did you guys know you had a no hitter go? Everything they could do to throw us off. And then the next day was like kind of the exact opposite. It was like we couldn't do anything right, which is just the nature of the game. It's wild how that works. But man, that Friday night, or that, I guess it was that was a Thursday night game. That was so much fun. And we talk about all these awesome performances, and Caden Wozniewski getting an MVP pitcher, like, from his outing that day was one of the most electric things I've ever seen. But I don't want to say it was overshadowed, but it was honestly like equally matched by the performance that Jackson Tucker had. It was wild.
Yep. That's where I was going next.
To start off the future games doing what Jackson Tucker did, to literally get on every school's radar at the entire event. He hits 2 home runs, along with just looking like an absolute stud at shortstop. Making it look easy. It was really, really impressive. He put himself firmly on everybody's radar on that first night. So Jackson Tucker doing his thing, like, that to me kind of capped that night from an offensive performance standpoint. Just like, what more can you ask from a position guy? And to do it at the future games in the first game was really, really cool.
Being a backside home run, which was something we'd started to see him do in the summer. Because, like, I was seeing tweets from The Rock, like, he hit, like, multiple backside home runs there. And I was like, if that dude, starts hitting, watch out. And he did it again on the biggest stage. And then I think he maybe got, he's tried to force, press it a little bit and kind of struggled the next game. But I feel like everybody was coming off that high of that game and, like, was just trying to replicate that. And obviously you can't do that in baseball. And, that's... we struggled a little bit the next game, but still, I thought, that it was still an awesome experience, and especially for Jackson. I'm sorry. Like you said, looks like an absolute guy at shortstop, just the athlete. And there's athlete in that family, like his brother interned for us, basketball player. Like, you can just continue to bet on that kid. And his, the sky's the limit for that kid for sure.
Next guy I want to touch on, bats wise, gotta talk about Brady Cunningham. I mean, the way the ball comes off this kid's bat is absurd. Everything he hits hard, even in game. Like at Lake Point, for people who haven't been there, like, yes, they show you all the pitching TrackMan data. They also show you how the exit velocity off the bat. And he was getting like 100 plus EVs in game, which at that age is just absurd to me. He can move, right? Like, runs a 6.67 at 6'2".
It's almost like a not believable 60 time.
Yeah.
With how physical he is. It's unbelievable that he runs that 60 time. I mean, you mentioned the exit velos. It was like he didn't just do it once. It was like consistently coming off the bat at 100 to 108. And every swing he takes wakes you up. I think someone was mentioning it earlier with Anthony Chavez. It's the same kind of thing with Brady. It's like you don't want to miss a pitch because at any time it could be the hardest ball you see hit all week. And I would say out of everybody at the future game, Brady Cunningham's got to be top 3 from like average in-game exit velocity. And I just love watching him take the at-bats. Because he's not a all or nothing. Like, he lives up the middle of the field. He's trying to basically, it seems like he's just trying to take the pitcher's head off and just line it right back at him. Because I felt like some of his best contact was just right back up the middle of the field. And he certainly, like, he was showing it in BP the next day. Like, he can turn on it and elevate it with the best of them. He's got some of the best raw power and the most feel to hit. of like anybody in the class, and you put that combination together with his size and then that 60 time, and it's like, okay, he plays first, but we also played him a bunch at third. He could probably play left or right. Like, the more versatile he becomes, the more, attractive he becomes as well, just from a prospect perspective, because he can flat hit.
Yeah, I probably can count on one hand how many times I've seen him swing and miss. He just is all... Like, he's so short to the ball, too, and, like, the strength and ease that he can get to that strength is really, really impressive. And then one of my favorite videos from the entire Future Games is one of his hits on that first night, and him just busting down the line. Like, it's, like, scary. It, like, shocks you when you watch it. Like, you do not want to be in front of that kid when he's, like, getting to that speed. It's so explosive for that size, like... And then, on top of all that, he comes out and throws 2 scoreless innings up to 90 with the fastball.
And just dominated.
Yeah, dominated. Filled up the zone. Absolutely filled it up. Right at guys. So, we really like him on both sides of the ball. But, yeah, he's just so impressive.
Just strikes me as such a winner. Great kid in the dugout, but wants to compete and wants to get after it. And just... There's a certain way he carries himself that I'm just a huge fan of.
And, like, not cocky in any way. It's just, like... He's just so nice. Like, it's just, he's like a silent killer. Like, you just know he has confidence in himself, but he'll never, like, outwardly, show up anybody in any way.
I also really liked a right-handed hitter. I thought he was a big winner for me. I wasn't totally sure what to expect, but Ryan Wilberding out of Libertyville, like, he played the outfield all spring for Libertyville because they had Quinn Shambo. He wins a state title. He's in that lineup. He's hitting in the middle of that order, like 5-6 hole all spring. We saw him hammer some balls in the spring, but at state it was a little hit or miss for him, and he even said it. Like, I think he said he didn't have the best state final performance, but down at the Future Games, like, he also didn't get a ton to hit. When he did, he was on the barrel on time. It's super physical and kind of imposing in the box. Like, I would not want to pitch to him. It's very hitterish, standing in the third base coach's box. You just get a feel like this guy's going to mash something. And I loved it. I loved his at-bats, but I liked it behind the plate even more. Probably because my expectations, I wasn't totally sure. And he could really handle the staff, and it's a huge arm from behind the plate. It's one of the top arms in the class, I would say. 80 plus, but it carries and it plays easy. Like, that's the thing. All these, you get enamored with these numbers. Oh, this kid's 84 from the crouch, or he's 94 on the mound. But, like, how does it play? Like, how does it come out? And his plays with super ease. It's almost like he's flicking it down to second, and it explodes out of his hand, and it's got all kinds of carry. I'm a big Ryan Wilberding fan, and I thought he had a really good showing for us.
Yeah, there's like something in the water up in Libertyville with catchers, right? They're going to go from Shambo to Wilberding, and then they also have a 2028 that, me and Hammett got to see kind of firsthand at the Super Sophomore Games in Weston Wuzakovich, who's going to come right behind Ryan whenever Ryan's done. But, yeah, something in the water up there in Libertyville, both catchers and arms, because, like, they have Brady Bunick as well, who's, one of the top arms in the entire state, maybe even the country. So,
well, I was going to mention,
just kind of crazy.
Libertyville's rolling out the catchers, and McHenry's rolling out the arms. They go from Brandon Shannon. They got Caden Wisniewski coming up, and I love to see it. I mean, the amount of talent, the Fox Valley area is loaded. Like I mentioned, McHenry, there's other schools that are loaded, but that Libertyville program, they've got guys coming through there left and right. Because, I mean, one guy that tore up our Illinois State games, Axel McKnight, like, he wasn't even in that lineup this spring. Huge left-handed hitter with all kinds of power. And there's other guys, too. Madden Kotz, I thought, showed well. We'll get into the Illinois State games at another time. But, no, that's a great call out. Anybody, I've got a few other position guys on here.
I want to
open it up to you guys, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to add this when you guys were talking about Brady Cunningham, but I spilled my coffee, so I had to get out of here quick. Cunningham in game, you guys mentioned, had a lot of hard hit contact. We had one ball on TrackMan registered at 107 and another at 105 off the bat in game, which I remember after those both had happened, we were all kind of like turning heads like, holy cow, that's different, like just coming off the bat. So, yeah, really impressive for Brady, but you guys go ahead if there was someone else you wanted to mention.
Well, to your point, we're watching the board all week. You're seeing contact all week from really good players, and his is just on a different level from some of the top players in the country. Just speaks that much more. But yeah, who does somebody want to mention here?
I mean,
I'll throw in an arm.
Okay, go.
I'm gonna go position guy.
That this is like Gavin. I think this turned into like your favorite player because his family does tractor pulls in the Henry area.
I was gonna talk about him too. So this is perfect.
Traxton Roberts. I mean, also probably had a case for MV pitcher from the event. His outing was absolutely dominant, and I felt like it came at a perfect time for our team. It's the last game. We really weren't playing well. Traxton Roberts comes in and absolutely deals for 2 innings, and it kind of like there was an entirely different energy within the team for the rest of the game. Like we started making a comeback on Wisconsin. It was just such a spark plug. I know we'll touch on it at state games because he was somehow even better at state games coming off future games, but to me, he was a huge winner. Drew's mentioned some guys that will see that reflected in our next rankings rollout. Traxton's right up there, whenever we roll our 2027. So, huge winner for me. It was a guy, admittedly, I've been high on since last year at preseason All-State. Unfortunately, where I live, I don't really get to go see him in the spring, and I know we tried to track him down in the spring. But, man, it was awesome to see him pitch the way he did out of Armstrong, a small town, central Illinois. So Gavin, I'll let you get in here on him because I know you actually you got more backstory on the person. So
yeah, he's from Armstrong, which actually, quick story. I was talking to my parents about this after the future games, and my grandpa, my mom's dad, was born in Armstrong, so that was pretty cool. But anyway, he really impressive. He was talking about how his family used to do tractor pulls, and they came to the fair in the town that I grew up in, another really small town, so which was cool, kind of a connection there, but. His family is a bunch of farmers, so he farms in the mornings, has to get up, do a bunch of chores, things like that. So I think a farm kid has a lot of like work ethic that maybe some other kids don't have, just not having that kind of lifestyle. But I think that just adds to how good of a player he could become with just that kind of small town farmer work ethic that he probably has. And I just think there's so much more ceiling for him to touch. But yeah, Roberts was awesome. I've got a story I want to talk about with him, but I'm going to save it for the State Games podcast because that's when we talked about it, but it's related to him being a farmer. But go ahead, Drew, or whoever, if you had anything else.
Yeah, he was always super interesting to us. He was like 84, 86 and had long levers and was super loose, and you love the way the ball came out. To see him, like his velo shot up a little bit this summer when we finally caught him at a tournament, which earned him the invite. And to see him come down there and to see the velo be what it was, like he was up to 91.5 at the future games. He said 88 to 91 basically. So to see the velo bump was awesome, especially in that environment. But I couldn't believe the total control he had over all of his offerings, the way he handled himself on the mound. He was landing the breaking ball anytime he wanted. The fastball was in the zone. And I thought Tyler said it perfectly. Like, it totally changed the complexion of that game, the vibe to the dugout. And just for him, like you're saying, from a small town farmer to walk into that environment and to just own that mound the way he did, so cool to see. And I can't wait to see kind of where he ends up and just to see what kind of trend he stays on now, because he's kind of on that upward trajectory, and I'm curious to see like how long can he keep that thing going, because there's so much to tap into with Traxton Roberts. But I agree, one of the best performances out of anybody in Team Illinois on the mound. One of my favorite guys to watch on the week was Andrew Talbert. Love the way he went about his business. He's a versatile athlete that can play anywhere. Doesn't really care where he plays either, was kind of the vibe I got. Like, he just wants to play. Like, he just wants to go out there, make plays. He was taking it on the infield a lot. Like, pregame, we do fungo work where we send out both teams, and it's rapid fire. And I thought he was one of our top kind of movers and infield actions, and just looked like he could play anywhere on the infield, can also go out to center field and play. He's got loud tools, a huge arm. It's like mid to upper 90s from the outfield, plays really good across the infield. Also hammered some balls in game and took some really good at bats. Like, he's not overly big, but he packs a lot of strength and twitch in his frame. He can leverage the baseball. So like watching Andrew Talbot play throughout the week, I thought was really fun. And same with Carson Trivellini. They're different styles. Trivellini's a much smoother, kind of actiony, longer strided, different frame as well. Like Trivellini's got a little bit higher waist. Like not the dynamic tools that Talbot has, but everything Trivellini does makes it look easy. Very fluid, can play on the move, like traditional shortstop look. And I thought he really competed with the bat. Kind of whole field approach. Just two middle infielders that I thought were really good pieces for Team Illinois that both have a lot of upside.
Yeah, and I thought Talbot even looked interesting in the outfield too. Just like he's an explosive athlete, like you said, really good first step, and he's got crazy arm strength. But sticking on the outfield, I like Josh Morgan. I think he's like a true center field profile. He's an elite football prospect. Was he a 4-star? He's got offers from like Miami and Penn State, Tyler. And he finished 2 for 6 with a double and 2 runs scored. And he's just a guy that always seems to get it done in front of our staff. Like he just seems to hit in game for us. Yeah, I came away really liking him.
Keegan Sipe, he's at Triad, had a huge spring for Triad. He came in there facing a lot of tough lefties, and I thought he stood in there and handled himself extremely well. Took some great swings over the course of the week, and I think he's one of the better left-handed bats in the state, especially down in that southern Illinois area. Really, really kind of fun to watch Keegan Sipe every time he steps into the box. I've got a couple arms here, too. I don't know if you guys want to mention or turn the page.
Well, I was going to go to select in a little bit, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, just I thought Mason Breach threw really well on that first night. He was kind of that part of that quartet that threw against Team Indiana, and it was just a really unique look. I thought everything was kind of down in the zone, kind of knew exactly who he was. A little funk to the delivery, and I thought he really tore it up as far as like making Team Indiana uncomfortable with their at-bats. So, Mason Breach, I thought. And then Mason Rycheski was a guy that kind of emerged for us over the summer. Firm fastball, comes out really good, like physical build, has some secondaries that, I think have like some development and some ceiling to them. But I thought Mason Rycheski he's at Kennedy High School, was one that really put himself on the map as well. But we can get into Team Select. There's guys on Team Illinois that, I think are going to be really, really good. We just aren't talking about everybody. So Team Select, we had 5 to 10 Illinois players on that team, P, with all the arms we had that helped fill that roster. And then we had 2 position guys with Quinn Rooney and Omar Avalos. So yeah, I know you were tasked with, hey, Pete, like Team Select, we want you to know every Illinois guy over there. It was combined with multiple states. There were other things going on at the event, junior future games going on, Team Illinois as well. So like there was some overlap, and that's why your main focus was, hey, don't miss anything here, and then obviously get to all the Illinois stuff as well. But with you kind of sitting on that, what do you have on Team Select?
Yeah, I was a huge fan of both of our position players. Omar Avalos, I just love the way that kid plays the game. He's a little spark plug, good bat to ball with some sneaky strength, and he actually won MVP in Game 2. He finished 2 for 2 with a double. Just really love the ABs. Like he got some, like we were saying, like a tough draw a few times. Like the first arm he faced in the whole dang thing was a lefty from South Carolina up to 94. Like one of the best arms there. So left, worked a walk, a really good at bat. And then from there, I just continued to put together good at bats. Really like the bat to ball, and true center field profile, can really go get it out there. I think that kid is someone that coaches need to be on for sure. Perfect like table setter, top of the lineup type kid. And then Quinn Rooney, he was a 2-way actually. He actually finished 3 for 7. He had a great week with the bat. Had a double, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. Long levered and loose with some sneaky pop in the bat, but I thought the bat to ball was good. He was another one that put together good at bats. But then where he really shined was on the mound. He was up to 88.5 actually twice, and that was a PR for him. So, gotta love when they put up a personal best in a stage like that. Yeah, 88.5. And one thing that I found really interesting was, so I was like standing by the other dugout when we would hit to try and get video, and all the other kids that had faced him were talking about him, Quinn, and saying how hard he was to pick up because it's super like long levered and right at you. The fastball comes out really good. I feel like you can pick up nuggets like that from the kids. Like they'll tell you a lot. Like if they're telling you like that kid's hard to hit or like that kid's like really good, then you got to listen to that because like they know they're the ones facing him. So I just found that really cool, and I'm glad he had a big week. I mean, I don't know really what he's faced or done on a national stage, so I think that was kind of the first thing he's done that was like to that level. So for him to ball out on both sides of the ball was awesome, and both of those kids, A+ kids, great kids, loved being around both of them.
So one thing that I was looking into on our on the stats and the data and the metrics and stuff, on the mound for Quinn Rooney, he had the highest of the entire Future Games event. He had the highest average extension on his fastball and curveball, and the third highest average release height on his curveball as well. So I thought that was an interesting thing to note.
He
Makes a ton of sense. Yeah.
He's just kind of a unicorn too. Like he's 6'6", 200 pounds. Can play the outfield. I know he was tasked with playing a lot of first base for Team Select because they had a lot of outfielders on that team. But he ran a 6'7" at that height with those levers, and the way he kind of stays inside the baseball and uses the whole field at the plate. There's not a lot of swing and miss for how long levered he is as well. Like sometimes those long levered guys, they can get longer with the swing. There's more swing and miss than a compact guy. But he stays inside the baseball, doesn't try to do too much. There's like some natural elevation in the swing. And then if he's doing that on the mound too, Pete, it's like those two-way guys, they just add up. That just adds a little extra, intrigue to them and their profile. So I think the sky is the limit for Quinn Rooney. I've made the comp a couple times, but he gives me some Colin Bruggeman vibes, who was down there at Freeburg, won a state title for Freeburg a couple years back. Now he's at Oklahoma State, but really long levered, was like coming into his own in high school and just started hitting for massive power the older he got. So like, I'm not putting that out of the question for Quinn Rooney because right now I feel like he's more of a gap-to-gap guy. But as he matures and adds strength to that frame, like those doubles could turn into some big power. He's definitely a guy I'm watching really closely in the state.
Yeah, good call. I can move on to a couple arms here. Wade Osment, I thought had probably about as clean of an inning as you can possibly have. He threw a 6-pitch inning. The first innings to the point where we're like, we might have to roll this guy out there, like just let him stay out there and get like 6 outs in an inning or something. But I thought he threw the ball really well. He's up to 87. 3 pitches for strikes, just really clean. Like the mover, good frame. So was a big fan of him. And then Austin Winge, it's one of those two, I'm sure.
Asked him at the event. Now I can't remember what he said. Yeah, I'm ticked. Sorry, Austin.
Winge.
Yeah.
He struck out 3 in 2 innings pitched. But it was just like right at you, 86 to 89. No messing around, quick worker, in the zone, throwing the curveball for a strike 2. I thought it was a nice change of pace from kind of what was happening that game. Like we were kind of getting, hit around a little bit, and then what do you know, an Illinois guy comes in and starts shoving it. But those were just 2 guys that I really liked. Came away fans of. What's up?
One thing with Wade too. Again, for the whole Future Games event, he had the highest average and max horizontal movement on his fastball. His average was 20.3 inches and his max was 23.6 inches on the fastball.
He's definitely a sinker slider guy, so like for him to come in and actually show exactly who he was, every pitch was at the knees or down for Wade when I was watching, and I loved Austin Winge. I thought it was a really clean arm. You said it. I thought you said it perfect. Like landed the breaking ball for a strike, and his velo was way firmer all summer. So like he was 86, 89, and he'd been more like 88, 92 in the summer. So for him to kind of dominate with the lesser velo, he didn't care. He was just going right at guys, and it was definitely refreshing because I was down the line talking to some schools at that time, and they were just saying how he had some of the best breaking ball feel that they had seen in like multiple games that they had watched. kudos Austin Wingy. I know he played a huge role for Lockport as a bullpen guy this spring, and we'll see kind of what role he has next spring. But he'll definitely be a big piece to their staff, I'm sure.
You guys got anybody else you want to mention or bring up before? I got a couple more data things to mention, but
get in on the data stuff, Gav. That's I'm curious.
So Andrew Talbert had the second highest outfield velo at the event, 97 miles an hour from the outfield. Liam Nash had the fourth highest maxed horizontal movement at the Future Games, 22.6 inches, I believe it was. And that was on his curveball, I think it was. I'll have to double check. I didn't actually write down exactly what the pitch was. So
no, that's all right. I'm glad you were prepared and locked in.
Trying to see what else here, like some of the higher ones. Hayden Adamowicz had the third highest changeup horizontal movement, negative 21.1 inches. Braylon Brown had the third highest curveball horizontal movement, negative 21.8 inches. Jimmy Benson had the sixth highest max curveball horizontal movement at 21 inches. Fourth highest average curveball horizontal movement at 17.38 inches. And I have a huge list here of just a bunch of stuff, but I just thought those were interesting. And actually, you guys were talking about Brady Cunningham's 60 time, but he had the ninth fastest run speed of the event, 22.2 miles per hour, which, again, for his size is really impressive. 22, yep.
Yeah, that's wild. So once he gets going, he can really move. I thought Liam Nash was a really good call out. He was interesting for me. I saw most of his outing, and I just thought he looked really physical on the mound. He was like 6'2", 200, and I thought the fastball came out easy. It was a little scattered in his outing, but I want to say it was up to 91. Had some decent spin on the breaking ball. I think that's a guy that's definitely worth a follow. Like the velo, it would not surprise me if his velo continues to shoot up.
Another
he
thing
really looked apart just standing out there on the mound.
Cunningham, another thing with him, I just read this part too. Ninth highest vertical jump at the event, 30.3 inches. So, like, the kid's just an athlete and at that size, and it's just, pretty unreal.
Yeah, he's a freak.
I'm sure their football coach would love to have him on the football field.
Yeah.
Like, a build like that can move like that strikes me as an elite tight end. But keep him in the batter's box, keep him healthy, and he's a fun one to watch. And I know he proceeded to tear up some other big events too, even after the Future Games. But man, it was a lot of fun this year. Like, there was a ton of talent, I thought, throughout. Like, we just went through all three levels, the 14U, the 16U, the 17U, and the amount of Illinois representation, hopefully it can stay that way for years to come, Pete. Like, hopefully they continue to have this team select and it just works out that way with the number of teams to make everything even. Because Illinois, like, I don't think we're slowing down as a state as far as the talent coming through. To me, these classes just continue to get deeper. There's always going to be high-level guys at the top. So I'm sure in that 2028 class, there's going to be plenty of guys to choose from. And it's going to be fun to watch that. Like, starting now, like, our eyes are already thinking about, next year's Future Games. That's how quickly it kind of rolls over. And, now it's the 2028's class's turn.